Okay, it is time to solve level 5 quadratics. This is as hard as I can make this. This is going to be brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. No, it's not. It's not going to be brutal. We can do this. Okay, let's do a level 5. So what does a level 5 quadratic look like? Well, it looks like something like this. That's a level 5. What makes this a level 5? Well, there's a lot of things that make it a level 5. First thing is all of a sudden, we've got that first number in front of x squared. It's no longer 1. It's something. And not only is it something, it's not even a perfect square. If it had been a perfect square, no big deal. We've done perfect squares. But it is not a perfect square. And not only that, the middle term, it's odd. Okay, so we've got a lot of work to do. What are we going to do? We're going to do the normal stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take care of my 3x squared. I'm going to, straight off the bat, I'm going to turn that into a perfect square. How do I turn that into a perfect square? Well, if I multiply through by 3, it will turn that first term into a perfect square. So let's multiply through by 3, getting 9x squared plus 15x. I don't know what happened to that plus. There was a plus there. Okay, plus 3 equals 27. Okay, so that's good. So 9x squared plus 15x plus 3 equals 27. That's super solid. First term's perfect square. That's great. Now this is not, the middle term is not, but we know how to take care of that at this point, right? All we have to do is multiply through by 4. And we know that first term is going to stay a perfect square because a perfect square times a perfect square is you got it, a perfect square. So multiplying through by 4, I get 36x squared plus 60x plus 12 equals 108. Okay, let's see what we can do. I think we're good to go. Hopefully you think so too. So let's take that 36x squared and put in that first box. And that is, what makes it? Well, 6x and 6x make it. And let's take that 60x and, and divide it into 2 pieces. So, right, 2 equal pieces, we get 30x and 30x. And what made that? Well, 60x times what? 6x times what equals 30x? Well, that would be positive 5, which means in the last square there has to be a 25. Well, what did we have to? Everything looks good except for, of course, the 12 and the 25 aren't the same, so we have to add 13 to both sides. So now we get 36x squared plus 60x plus 25 equals 121. Nice, right? Because what is this? Well, we already know what it is. It is a nice perfect square. It is 6x plus 5 quantity squared equals 121. So something squared equals 121, which means that something has to equal 11 or negative 11. Subtracting 5 from all sides, I get 6x equals 6. Or what did I subtract? 5 from both sides, so negative 16. And then dividing by 6, I get x equals 6 divided by 6 is 1. 16 divided by 6 is 8 thirds, right? So negative 8 thirds. Not too bad, right? That was a tough one, but we did it. So let's just recap what we did. So first thing we did is we turned that first term into a nice perfect square, right? We turned it into a nice perfect square, and how do we do that? We multiplied through by whatever would turn into a perfect square. So how do we turn 3 into a perfect square? We multiply everything through by 3. How do I turn 5 into a perfect square? Multiply everything through by 5. 7, multiply everything through by 7. Once we did that, we were back to a level 4 problem, and we could do it. So do another one. Let's do one more problem. We're going to take 7x squared minus x plus 1 equals 9. So let's see what you can do. So why don't you pause it? By the way, this is a 1. That's a 1. So pause it and see what you can do. Okay, so hopefully you've paused it and seen what you can do. So let's see what we can do. So first thing we want to do, right, is we want to take that 7 and turn to a nice perfect square. And we do that by multiplying through by 7. So I get 49x squared minus 7x plus 7 equals 63. Okay, looking good so far. Back to a level 4 problem. So what do we have to do? We have to take that middle term and make it even. And how do we do that? We multiply through by 4. Okay, we're going to get some pretty big numbers, but we can deal with them. So 49 times 4 is 196. So I get 196 x squared minus, multiplying by 4, so 28x plus 28 equals 63 times 4, which is 252. Okay, looking solid. Let's see what we can do. Let's make our box. So our box, we get 196x squared. So what made that? I'm thinking 16 times 16. Nope, I'm not thinking 16 times 16. I'm sorry, I'm thinking 14 times 14. Yep, 14 times 14, sorry. It's getting late. I've done a lot of these. Whatever. Get over yourselves. So 14x and 14x. Okay, and then we take that negative 28x and we make it divided into two pieces. So negative 14x, negative 14x. So what do we have to multiply 14x by to get negative 14x? Well, that's easy. That's negative 1. Whoops, that's not the way I normally write it. See, I am getting tired. The sacrifices I make for this. Okay, boom. So 1 times 1 is 1. So what do we have to do? Okay, well, what we have to do now is in order to make that 28 1, I'm going to have to add a negative 27 to both sides. Okay, let's do that. So this becomes 196x squared minus 28x plus 1 equals 252 minus 27, which is 225. How super convenient is that? That's a nice perfect square number. Gosh, what convenience. Okay, so nice thing about that is we know this is a perfect square because this is 14x minus 1 quantity squared equals 225, and we are good to solve this, right? At this point, that should be second nature. So we know that 14x minus 1 has to equal plus or minus, has to equal either 15 or negative 15, which means subtracting 1 from everything, we get 14x equals, not subtracting 1, adding 1. See, getting tired. 16 or negative 14. Let's just double check since I am getting tired. So 15 plus 1 is 16. Negative 15 plus 1 is negative 14. Dividing everything by 14, I get x equals 16/14, which is 8/7, or negative 1. Bam! We just did a hard one. We can do any one we want now. Awesome.